how we can romanticize autumn and winter if you dread it. Because honestly, when it gets cold out, I don't like it at all. Hello darlings, and welcome back to another video. First of all, I am so flattered if you have taken the time to subscribe. I know the numbers are not incredible or amazing, but to me, knowing that there are 100 of you out there watching my videos and enjoying my content means so much. And the incredibly sweet comments that you guys write, wow, they honestly make me feel incredible. And I'm so happy to see that you are liking the videos I'm coming up with thus far. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Emma. I love all things vintage, pink, feminine, beautiful, and I just like to share that with you all. Let's jump right into the video. All right, I am back. I have here my list and a nice hot cup of tea. So why don't you grab yourself a hot cup of tea and join me? First things first is attire. Of course, coming into the colder season, we must dress appropriately, or else it will be even more uncomfortable. One thing that you should look into is fleece lined tights. Now, the ones that I have found to be quite nice are the ones that look like a faux pantyhose. These are quite wonderful because they look like a pantyhose, but they are fleecy inside, so they actually keep your legs warm. Much, 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 much better than your generic pantyhose. In the same category, we have Merino wool socks. Now, socks are very important, especially if you get cold feet, like me. And if they are wool, ideally merino wool, they don't tend to itch as severely as generic wool can. I usually like to ensure that the wool socks I am wearing that's touching my bare skin is merino wool. Now, thicker wool socks are lovely to layer on top of merino wool as they kind of create just that added insulation, but it can make it tricky if your shoes are already like fitted to your foot normally with a regular sock. So one thing I like to do is replace the insole of a shoe and use merino wool insoles instead. This allows for added comfort as it does have a little bit of a cushion to it, and the merino wool helps keep the foot nice and toasty and dry. So yes, get yourself some wool insoles. It makes such a difference on the way the boots actually keep your feet cozy, unlike your generic polyester ones, which are fine, but nothing compared to wool. Be sure to find some nice knitted dresses. Now, I found a couple at the thrift store with my mom while I was visiting her up in Canada, and I, in my head, thought I needed a plethora of them, but I'm happy. I think I'm gonna stick with the amount I have, which is 3 dresses. It's enough to switch things out. They're all in neutral colors, allowing me to accessorize with more vibrant colors if I wanted to do so. And another thing that is quite a game changer in winter apparel or autumn apparel is wool skirts. I have found a couple thrifting and my mom has made me one. At the moment I can't wear it because I'm pregnant, but there are a couple styles in which you can adjust them a little bit higher to be more of an empire waistline, which I will show you here. So out of all my knitted skirts, I was only able to fit myself into 2 of them, but they are wool, so there is not a whole lot of stretch. They are very cozy though, and I do love how snug I felt, especially paired with the fleece lined tights and a nice cozy turtleneck. Of course, we cannot forget the classic turtleneck or mock neck. I love a nice cozy turtleneck. You can find them in such an array of colors, which is quite fun, and they tend to look classy and elegant with anything you pair them with, whether that's pants or skirts. They are just a very timeless article of clothing that will not only look good, but it will keep you warm too. And for, of course, when you're lounging about at the house, a nice warm jumper and house coat. You must have a house coat. I know this will completely vary per individual because some people don't get cold, and I totally envy you if you don't get cold. But a house coat is just basically a wearable blanket, and you can find them in an array of styles and colors. I love my pink one that I found recently, and you must, of course, find yourself a pair of nice, fluffy, cozy slippers. The slippers I have, they look a bit sad, but they are nice and warm because they cover the whole foot and they are wool. And as the wool on the bottom of the foot gets more compressed, I am just simply going to use a Merino wool shoe insert so that I can still have that coziness that the wool provides at. So there is our first list. Number 2 is to make yourself a really nice hot drink. So when we think autumn, winter, we're thinking of nice hot drinks. And the first drink that comes to my mind is a lovely Mexican hot chocolate. I grew up drinking these. My mom is from Mexico, so we didn't have any other hot chocolate in the house. And I was always flabbergasted by how incredibly sad powdered hot chocolate was. I know. But it is incredibly easy to make, and I will show you here how I make some yummy, scrumptious hot chocolate. So I find my hot chocolate at Walmart. I'm pretty sure you could locate this at any cultural food grocery store, or even possibly on Amazon. But what makes this hot chocolate so divine and delicious is that there are spices incorporated to the blocks of cacao, and it is just so rich and creamy. Now, to make it even creamier, I do like to add a bit of whipped cream to the recipe. It just adds that, I don't know, thicker foam to it, especially when we blend it, which I do find is a very important part about making this hot chocolate, which you shall see here shortly. Now, one thing you really want to make sure you are doing frequently is stirring it. Last thing you want is to by accidentally cook the milk to the bottom of the saucepan. I've done that before and it's a pain to clean up. So just make sure that when you are making this hot chocolate that you are present. It's not something you can just set up and walk away from. It's ideal that you remain in the kitchen just to keep it moving, keep the liquid moving so that that chocolate can get incorporated into the milk. So now we are going to place the hot chocolate into a blender. This is going to help incorporate all of that chocolate into the milk, and it's also going to create an amazing foam that is super thick and delicious. It will just, I don't know, it brings it to the whole new level, which I highly recommend doing. If you don't have a blender, you can use an immersion blender, just like a hand blender, but I do like to use it in a blender because then you can really mix it up super well. So yummy.
Wow, aha.
My second favorite hot drink would have to be an Earl Grey tea with tapioca pearls, otherwise known as boba tea, I guess. This is kind of my own version of it. I like to sweeten it with maple syrup, but here is a recipe as to how I make my yummy Earl Grey tapioca tea. So the first step is to boil your water for your tea. It's not a really complicated recipe. It's really quite simple. I like to use loose leaf Earl Grey tea, and I will link below the tapioca pearls I have used over and over again that I find to be quite easy to cook, and they always turn out perfect.
So just like the milk in the hot chocolate recipe, you want to make sure you are stirring your tapioca pearls frequently, as they will stick to the bottom if they are not being moved around in the boiling water. So just be sure to stir and stir and stir.
Mama, I need a...
Number 4 is creating a cozy home environment. So this one here is fun. I don't know why, but I always feel the sense of nostalgia coming into fall and winter, and I think about things that just make the home feel more cozy, make me feel all warm inside, and some of that is creating that cozy home environment. And so that can be home scents, like finding a candle that you really like the scent of. I know cinnamon and apples is very much so in, of course, in the fall, but I am not the biggest fan of super sweet scents. I was able to find something that was slightly sweet but very subtle and soft. And I do love essential oils. I have a little essential oil mist in the kitchen, which I'm in there quite a bit, and it does help create this beautiful, I don't even know how to describe it, cloud of smell. Wow, that sounded weird. Oh, that sounded really weird.
I did forget to mention the use of battery operated candles. I find that they create such a lovely ambiance and feel to a space without, of course, the risk of any fire hazard, especially if you like wall sconces.
After that, we have home textiles. So get out your fuzzy blankets and put them everywhere on like all the couches you have, because there's nothing nicer than having your nice hot drink and sitting on the couch and wrapping yourself in a nice blanket and just enjoying life, listening to some music, watching your favorite show. A lot of these textiles, as in my head at least, there can be a sense of comfort when we wrap ourselves. I have no idea if it's because in our subconscious we were super cozy and comfortable in our mama's womb, but that's totally random, and yeah. But yes, blankets, being cozy, keeping yourself warm will definitely help make the colder days feel more pleasant and less dreading. Falling into that, I'd say, is creating the environment when you're sitting on that cozy couch with your hot drink and your blanket, and that would be to find entertainment that you enjoy. So for me, these are movies, more like chick flick movies. I love The Holiday, 27 Dresses, shoot, what's the name? P.S. I Love You is a really good one too, as well as, what is it? I can't remember her name. I'll put the video up here. It's totally escaping my mind, but it's a really sweet movie too. Wow, it really is. Leap Year, that's what it's called. And I don't know, there's something about those movies that just bring me a sense of nostalgia. I'm honestly not too sure what it is about it. Other movies or series would be the 90s version of Pride and Prejudice, the extended version BBC series. I love that. As well as something totally like on the opposite board of all that would be the extended version of Lord of the Rings, which is really fun to dive into as well. But yeah, finding like entertainment things that you associate with being cozy and just happy, like very happy memories associated with them, and try to incorporate those into like your weekend movie nights, or I don't know, when you're cleaning the house, even listening to them might just lift your spirit a wee bit. And I'd say, I'm not too sure where to put this one here, but I decided to put in the, creating a cozy home environment, and that was finding something for you to do. So keeping yourself and your mind active. I find sometimes in the winter it's really easy to get caught up in a rut because we're maybe not socializing so much or going outside for walks or even seeing the sunlight as often. So find a hobby to get into or to just keep your mind occupied. For me, I'm finding so much enjoyment in doing decoupage. I have a video coming up showing you how I've been using the hobby of decoupage. I don't even know if that's technically a hobby, but it's a craft, and it's so much fun to take something you already have, but to turn it into something that you absolutely love, or to even turn it into something that you might have had your eye on, but you're not spending your money on buying a new item. If that's something that you enjoy doing, so that you don't feel like you're just, I don't know, waiting for spring and summer to come. Find something to help you enjoy the time you're in, to be present in the moment that you're in, even though it might not be your favorite season. Lastly, we cannot forget about taking care of ourselves. So I am a mom, and I find myself, it's easy to become, like I was saying earlier, become stuck in a rut. And sometimes we can neglect to take care of ourselves. And as we come into autumn and winter, the weather is going to be getting colder and drier, which means our skin will get drier, our hair will get drier. So I like to look at this coming into this season as an opportunity to kind of tend to myself, if that makes sense. Not that I don't in the spring and summer, but I guess to be slightly more intentional with really taking care of my skin and my hair. I think it's important that, you know, you take some relaxing bubble baths or showers to do the hair mask, you know, allow, you know, bring moisture back into your hair. Another thing will be to tend to the nails. Now, I know we won't be wearing sandals, so our toes won't be exposed, but I want to make it a goal to paint my toenails regularly. To me, in my head, I feel like even as I get changed and I see that, just having that done can make one feel a little bit more glamorous. Plan on doing some more mild chemical peels at home because the sun is not going to be as strong and it's going to be much more milder, which means that I might have the chance to try just slightly stronger peels. Remember what percentage AHA peel I had just finished using, but I hope to go up to the next one coming into November so that I can help renew my skin and get a lot of that dead skin off. Let's just take a moment to enjoy the autumn and the winter. As long as the winter may feel, it's, I think, a good opportunity for us to learn to just remain present and to not rush our minds into spring of next year or summer of next year, as eager as I am for it. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I had so much fun coming up with these ideas. I found it quite helpful even for myself. Now, a couple of the ideas I kind of discovered last winter that I kind of thought, wow, I feel like other people should know about this, especially the fleece light, like the fleecy tights. Those are like such a game changer at being able to wear dresses. If you love dresses and skirts in the wintertime without feeling like you're compromising comfort and having to freeze your butt off. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if there's any of these things that you already do, or if you have other ideas or suggestions for those watching as well. Please share. I'd love to know. If you are enjoying my content so far, don't be shy. Please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to join me in our little community here, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, darlings.